pretty good. I think it's a little more intimidating than being in the team meeting room.
Shouldn't be. So who's got the edge Saturday in special teams?
You know, I think it's just going to come down to who performs the best on Saturday. It's a one day at a time thing. You know, you can't really look at past performances or else you're living in the past. So it's a present mindset.
Just how have you felt as far as field goal kicking this year, just your performances up to this point?
I felt good. I mean, there's balls where they go through the goalposts and you still wish you hit them better. But I think that I'm improving, and that's all I can ask for is a steady improvement. I mean, I don't want to say the same. There's always room for improvement. So,
is there one of those things where, like, as long as the ball goes through the uprights, it doesn't matter? Do you really look at, okay, I could have hit this ball better? How much do y'all look at that kind of over the course of a week?
Yeah, I'll hit a ball in a game, whether it's a PAT or whether it's a field goal, and it doesn't come off the foot just right, and it goes through, and I'm just like, God, that sucked. Like everyone else is like cheering and applauding, and it's like, yeah, we made like 3 points, 1 point, whatever. But no, like I'll hit one, and it's like, that's not my best ball. Like, not very happy with that. So,
along those lines, how happy have you been with the execution as far as snap, hold, you kick, just consistently this year?
Really happy. You know, I mean, as I mentioned, I think last time, we get as much practice with Stetson as we can, which involves us staying after practice to get a snap and a hold. And it may not be a live operation, but it's still something that we're working on, and it's still improving. So pretty good.
What is a game day like for you when it's a big game like this? In terms of you have a routine, do you get nervous? Take me through that.
I'd say I try not to treat it like treat it like any other game day. I mean, I've got a ritual of try and visualize kicks the night before I'm laying in bed, hopefully in a dark room. Close my eyes, hopefully don't fall asleep. But just picture myself, whether it's at an away stadium or it's at Sanford, of, I step up 38-yarder, 55-yarder, PAT, no different. I'd say that's a big ritual of mine. Going out there, kind of just feeling the wind, stepping onto the field with my shoulder pads, just kind of getting the lay of the ground, and that's about it.
Did you watch, I'm sure you watched the Tennessee kicker make that thing to win the game? I mean,
I did.
Do you, as a fellow kicker, when you see that, what do you think?
Pretty impressed. I try not cheer against my fellow specialist opponents when it comes down to it, because I want to see them succeed as badly as I want to succeed. But I guess when it comes to a big matchup like this, it's like you're not hoping for the worst, but you're hoping that maybe he's not kicking as many field goals as I'm kicking. So,
having been around for a while, I know you guys are kind of a tight fraternity.
Right.
You all know each other. Did you correspond with either one of those guys after the game? The guy that missed, the guy that made?
Yeah. So I reached out to Will Reichard. I trained with him pretty constantly over the off season. Got to talk to him for a little bit, just see how he was feeling, and knowing I mean, been there, maybe not in that exact situation, but similar situations. I don't know the Tennessee kicker very well, so haven't talked to him, but I'm sure that he was living it up after the game.
You have made some huge kicks in your career. It just worked out that way, going all the way back to Peach Bowl.
Right.
Does that help when you get ready to play a game like this, knowing that it could come down to that, for sure?
Definitely gives you a little bit more confidence going into the game, knowing that you've been there before, high stakes scenario, especially playing at home. I mean, you've got the Georgia fans behind you versus playing on the road at a big SEC school. So
we're expecting the atmosphere, probably be pretty loud on Saturday. What's it like more of pregame when it is an atmosphere where the fans are coming in, it's already kind of getting loud before the game's even started?
I like to try and picture it as much as I can, like going through my field goals pregame with Stetson and Payne, of like a full crowd atmosphere of it being as loud as I can. Student section still gets in there fairly early. I'd say probably beats us to the stadium. So hearing them is a good example of what the crowd may be like at a home game, but that's as much as I can comment on that. So.
And then actually kicking in games like that, even if it's not like a game winner, but
yeah.
What's it sort of like?
I mean, even at a home game, you can still hear the opposing crowd of miss it or like just random stuff. Try and block that out as well as you can, but I mean, you're still going to hear some of it no matter what. So.
Did you watch the college football rankings show, and how does that affect you guys at all to see Tennessee leapfrog you and fall back to 3?
I did not watch that. I was more focused on getting ready for the Phillies last night.
Okay,
Phillies
okay.
had a pretty big game, so I was focused on that, getting ready, and I had a big exam this morning, so I was studying for that as well. So.
Big Phillies fan?
That shouldn't even be a question. Yeah, huge Phillies fan. Actually, my dad and my sister were at the game last night. So,
What's your connection to Philadelphia?
Dad's from South Jersey. My uncle actually works for the Phillies. He's the VP of marketing. So, yeah, just grew up a Phillies fan and always been one. So,
Can you hook you up with some World Series tickets?
gosh, I hope so. But I mean, we've got an important week right now. So, yeah. I actually went 2008 and 2009 to the World Series when the Phillies played. So, it's pretty awesome.
Are they gonna get this done?
They better.
Did you get a chance to go to Atlanta when they were playing against the Braves?
So I had a ticket for that Sunday, which would have been, I guess, Game 5, and the Phillies beat the Braves in Game 4 to advance. So.
It's all good. You don't have to remind us.
I just needed to let you guys know.
Did you, so back to the rankings, you dropped to 3 and Tennessee goes to 1. Is that any point of motivation that you can tell, whether it be with you or in the locker room at all, discussed, or is that strictly forbidden to ever bring up rankings, around the complex?
I don't think the guys are really focused on that. I think it's, like, let's play football. Like, we've been here in the past. Let's do it again. Let's play football, and that's it. It's strictly business. So.
You talked about your ritual earlier. What about when you're on the field about the kick? Is there any superstitious thing you do to get yourself mentally prepared right before you kick? Or
I may say a Hail Mary here and there, that really pretty much calms my heart, but I wouldn't say it's superstitious, just something that really, really helps. So.
Real quick, what's your range? What you feeling?
It depends on the day. This summer, I went to Cole's camp up in Gatlinburg with a bunch of other college guys and competed with some guys and hit from 65 to win the competition, so felt good from there. It really just depends on how the wind's blowing, if it's raining on Saturday, if it's not raining on Saturday. So.
Jack, you think that after they left you off of first, second, third, and fourth team preseason SEC, and with a legitimate chance of being the highest career field goal percentage holder at Georgia, that maybe they made a mistake? Or do you care?
I try and not look at stats. Definitely might give me a little bit of motivation here and there. Try not to compare myself to other kickers. It's really just the driving motivation of myself to get better.
Looking ahead at the forecast, it does look like there could be some rain.
Oh, yeah.
How much is that? How different is that kicking in the rain? I guess, have you played in a rain game? You wouldn't have been kicking against Kentucky that year.
No, I didn't kick against Kentucky that year. I was on the sidelines and it was miserable. As I said before, you kind of have to approach everything the same. But at the end of the day, playing in the rain versus a sunny day is very different. Just making sure your foot grips the ground, making sure that the ball doesn't slip on the holders, trying to put it down or it doesn't come out. But you can't worry about stuff that's not in your control. So,
How do you even try and simulate that at practice? Because you can't control the weather.
We've got water guns, we've got water bottles, we'll have buckets of water to soak the footballs in. So there's a lot of scenarios.
Do you trade plant cleats maybe for longer cleats?
No, there are a lot of kickers in the league that have the football cleats on their left foot if they're righty for a plant cleat. I've never done that. Probably wouldn't do it this Saturday just because I haven't done it in the past.
Right.
If I had, I might try it out, but.
get time for 2 more questions. You and Zion have a deal. You get to wear 96 when he's on the field, and you give him free canes or something that night, or?
I wish I could say that I treated him that well, but I do not. I get maybe a nice little pat on the back, but that's about it.
What's it like seeing sort of that transition when he's got to put that 44 on there and get out there?
I feel really bad for him. I'm glad I'm not doing it. Especially, I'm 190 pounds soaking wet, and he's, who knows what, 280 maybe. So I know that's got to be miserable.
Any discussion in you changing your number?
There was. At the beginning of the season, they were like, "So you wanna change numbers?" And I was like, "No, thanks." I really wish I could say yes, but I'm going on my 5th year. I think I'm gonna want to stick with 96.
Thanks, Jack.
So, thank you guys.